Hello, welcome back. This week it's about an introduction to my husband, Adam. So I know a lot on the channel I'm speaking about Pompe disease and more into the medical technicalities and all. And obviously last week we did a video on what's the best sensory toys for children that are muscular, who have muscular disorders. But this one is a different take on the family dynamic. It is more like a really simple introduction to the family. So this is Adam. We've known each other since like years really, and we really reconnected. I would say around 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah. But probably known you since you were a young teen.
Yeah, through my sister being friends and stuff. So, and it was just. Yeah. But we reconnected at a level where we were both in a very difficult time, weren't we, with our relationships at that time. I'm not going to go much into it. It's just we had a difficult time. I would technically say that it was ended, and we reconnected with our struggles and our mental health. And how did we meet? It was online, wasn't it?
And you messaged me like the first time because you were
terrified of being
giving
pregnant, birth.
And I just had a baby, and for some reason you thought I'd have the answers. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Don't have the answers. Wing it.
No, he literally just said, "Go talk to my ex," and I was like,
She wasn't my ex at the time.
No, girlfriend. Yeah. I was too nervous because I was freaking out. Like, I'm about to go. I didn't know what to expect with birth. This is scary. My midwives were terrible. They didn't take me to those birthing classes until 36 weeks. I was literally at the door. What was the point? I was sitting there for like 2 hours, heavily pregnant, with all these young mums who didn't have a baby yet. They were showing what the birth was going to be like, what to expect, how to feel, other procedures you can do to make the birthing easier, or other options. And I was just sitting there for 2 hours, back killing, baby out, like, oh my goodness, these chairs are really uncomfortable. Really disorganized first pregnancy, I would say. But other than that, I was on my own for about 2 years straight in Manchester Hospital because we were trying to sort out care for my son, because he not long just in 2015, late 2015. Start 2016, got his tracheostomy because his health declined quite massively at that point, that he needed a life support machine, a tracheostomy. I'll show you a picture in this video of what a tracheostomy is. I will go into depth with it in another video. But anyway, my life was taking a turn for the worst, and I reached out to you, and you noticed my artwork as well, didn't you? And you were,
yeah.
And at this time he was an antique dealer, wasn't you?
I used to be interesting.
You are still interesting. Oh my goodness. Stop complaining.
Fine.
No, so he did antiquing, I did art, and we just chatted from there, really, wasn't it? You wanted to buy one of my artworks, and I wanted one of your, which we still have in our bedroom, and I will link a picture to this. I love him so much. Legs. I saw legs in one of your posts.
Yeah, made from a 1950s mannequin legs. I had a bored day in the shop and made a lamp.
Well, it started our conversation because I was like, I want legs.
It reignited our conversation because that was like almost a couple of years after the initial contact.
Yeah, it was a couple of years after.
Other than that, there was just a bit of, I like your artwork.
And I liked your antique stuff that you were upcycling every now and then.
She sent her ex-mother-in-law around to buy stuff for her.
Oh God, yeah, my ex-mother-in-law, Pram, wasn't it?
Pram, yeah.
And yeah, I think we were both at a very low point in our lives. We were not with our partners, and we just rekindled our friendship via online while I was in hospital, because obviously I couldn't leave the hospital from Manchester. I'm based around Liverpool, so it's quite far away. So we just kept in contact and just had the conversation. Again, legs was the start of the whole full-on conversation. We traded art and stuff, and then we just started. I'd come home on the weekends and we'd having little dates, didn't we?
Yeah. I
On the
mean,
weekends, I'd come down.
pretty much. I mean, I invited you to one of my sort of parties while I was living with a cousin at the time.
Mhm.
And then from there, we just kind of went on dates.
And there's another question I want to ask you as well. Given the circumstances I had at this point when we officially did start seeing each other, I just had my daughter. She was about 4 weeks old at this point. I literally just had a baby. I was pregnant at this point with my daughter, and my son was in hospital having the tracheostomy. As you can tell, very tense, and things weren't going well with my ex at this point. It was really bad, really toxic. So it was multiple things that were really, not great. So what I want to ask you is, what did you think, knowing when I brought up the conversation about my son's, at that time they said he was going to pass in January in 2016, and I laid it out to you there, didn't I, really, on our date? It was a bit heavy on you, wasn't it?
It was. To be honest, I didn't want to leave you in a dark spot on your own. You were facing the, curtain call come January time-ish. And you basically gave me the option to walk out the door. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and be there for you and with you and hopefully help you through this. Obviously, Leo survived, and then I had to readapt my life again to learn how to look after a severely disabled child.
And a newborn.
And a newborn. I can do newborns. Newborns
I
are
mean-
easy.
I mean, that's a lot to take on for as young as you were. How old are you when we
25.
25, very young for the internet stand. The young lad who's just took on, that's a lot of things to take on, and then the other baggage of other things.
I
So
think,
that's quite.
I mentioned this much. I think at the time I was kind of fighting for my own kids, and I think having a newborn around
Custody.
kind of helped with my my mental health.
Mm.
I'm very much and always probably will be a parental type figure. I
Mhm.
like being a parent. I like being a father.
Yeah, and I think at that point as well, obviously you won custody as well, equal custody. And we slowly weaned the kids into just play dates, didn't we? And as friends when we first started dating. I think that was the most.
Yeah, we went to
Appropriate.
a place called the Monkey House and let them play together.
Yeah.
Obviously, Willow being so young, she didn't really play, but my
Your
my
daughter.
daughter wanted to give her bottles and stuff.
She was like,
She's about
the newborn baby came in. His daughter was like, right, I'm feeding the baby. Again, I do have a picture of this. It's so cute. It's so sweet. And she's like, yeah, this is mine. This is my baby. I'll feed it. And we had your son who was just turned 1, didn't he? So we've known your daughter when she was about 2.5, and your son around 1.
Yeah, 1.5.
His daughter's now 11 and his son is 10. So we've known them for a while now. It's a very big family.
Close enough to a decade.
Yeah, pretty much. And things are good right now. Nice normal family routine, isn't it? So yeah. What do you think makes a good relationship?
What do I think makes a good
Yeah,
relationship?
you can ask that question to me as well.
Okay. Loyalty. Honesty. I mean, lying kills anything.
Mhm.
What else? Good communication.
Yeah,
You
I was
know,
about to say
if you
that.
don't,
as well.
if you don't communicate, it's just going to fall apart.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of holding a little bit back, but we always get around to talking, me and you.
What would you say was been difficult now? Because we're married. We got married, and I mean we're very sporadic with this, but we got married in 2018. I mean, shotgun wedding. I was pregnant with Ragnar. I look stunning in that dress, and I will link it in this as well. I am stunning because my mother-in-law advised me not to wear a tight dress because she was concerned that I may look not great because I would be at this point 7 months pregnant, which I am 7 months pregnant, and in the photography, I don't look pregnant when you look forward, and then when you look at the side, obviously I'm very heavily pregnant. But the main thing was I was more worried about is the photos and what I'm going to cherish more and look back to. If I can get a photo where I don't look as pregnant, it's a win-win. And to be honest, I looked stunning. But it felt like, as everyone said, shotgun wedding.
I mean,
but
it wasn't. We wanted it, but
we wanted it, of course. But the
She
joke of
insist-
pregnant
yeah, she insisted on shotguns. It's really her idea.
Well, they were saying too if we wanted to delay the wedding, and I was like, no, we want it now. I've got my son who's got a life-limiting illness. I don't know if he's going to be here next year. I don't know if our grandparents that were really close.
My granddad was very ill and potentially going to pass away soon, and your granddad was very ill and not giving us all the information.
And he died
Yeah.
like a year after that wedding. He died in 2019. So I'm really glad
My
we did the wedding.
died a few months after.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. So that's why it looks very rushed. It's rushed because, again, we're thinking of the bigger picture rather than, you know, things happen in life and we know when it's short term, and we just knew, didn't we? I can't explain it. It's just we're just very mature, aren't we? Like, I feel we're very emotionally mature. Of course, we're not perfect. We do have arguments. We do have petty spats that are just stupid. That is normal in a marriage. If you don't, my God, I'm concerned for you. But barely, yeah. But when we have conflict, we address it appropriately, and we know how to communicate. That when we have conflict, we're not just going around each other. And I think an important key in marriage is listening to each other. You may not agree with the other partner. You may have a different opinion, but it's listening and understanding from both sides of a disagreement, and then just moving forward from there, which is, I think, is very important. It's what we've learned in this marriage, and it's, you know. What would you say has been difficult in our marriage, so?
Difficult?
Yeah.
Care workers.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Sharing space. Yeah, and mostly outside influences.
Yeah, external stresses.
Yeah.
With people, separate parties. I would say a lot of the we have a care team who looks after our son, as I've stated in my past videos, that he needs 24-hour care, 7 days a week, night and day, because he's on the life support machine still to this day. We have had so many stressful, conflicting situations between carers, and it's caused quite a bit of strain in our marriage, I would say. And sometimes as well, being able to leave the house has been restricted. So if we're not staffed, you know, and there's no one in there, I can't leave the house. There's 2-to-1 and a ventilator. You can't leave the house. If you leave the house, it's a huge, you know, it's a health and safety risk for Leo and my son, and your socials will be involved. So this is the type of dynamic we do have, and it's improved these past few weeks, I would say. But what we struggled with is it was quite restricting, and we did and have and still do learn to, you know, let the other partner get space. Like, you got drink not all the time. It's like once in a blue moon, he does not want to go out as much, but on occasion we've gone out and had, like, you know, let the other partner go out and have a breather, have a normal social interaction with family, friends. You know, we respect that and understand that we both need that, don't we? So, but he is very antisocial, I will say that.
I'm not antisocial.
You are.
No, I've just been burnt a lot, so what's the point?
What do you mean, burnt?
Oh, just a lot of shit in the past, innit? I like my peace, and you know, outside people can upset that.
Like an introvert. You're just an introvert. I think when you're out, you'll get really social, and everyone always like, and when everyone sees you, they are like, oh, this is like, you know, really good. Like, we really bounce. So, yeah, I think I just only asked about 4 questions. But
anything else you can think of you want to ask me?
I mean, if you want to ask me anything, I'm more than happy to. I'm asking real questions.
What do you value in our relationship? You can't say what I've already said.
Oh, communication is key in a marriage. That is a definite one.
We already agree on this. So, like, what about the way we work? Else do you value?
You're very considerate. Very, very considerate of my feelings and my mental health. I would say that's a big thing that's important. It's not just like that, and I felt like attractive as being a really good dad. It's one of my things.
Being a good dad,
Yeah.
attractive, not so much.
You are attractive. Why?
It's true. I'm not attractive. Let
You
them
are
decide.
attractive. You are attractive. I've said this 100 times, guys. I know I sound really like not very nice or whatever. Cold. I'm not cold. I can't be cold. Shut the fuck up.
You didn't say nothing.
You nodded. It was enough. I could see it. The
That's
side
not
eye.
words.
That's
Mouth was
agreeing.
shut.
It's agreeing. He's attractive. Well, you know, again, I think it's a mental health thing, really, that you're struggling with.
Possibly.
And, you know, we all struggle with.
I mean, if you flashback when we first met, I obviously gone through a bit of a bad breakup. I was back living with my parents, a little bit embarrassing, and trying to live at your parents' house once you've moved out already is really difficult. So I was just going to the gym every night, killing an hour in there, and then trying to be at the pub on the weekends and not be home. But because I was at the gym pretty much most nights, I was physically quite attractive, and nowadays I don't find the time for the gym. It's a very busy family life. There's a lot of demands, and I look at myself in the mirror and I don't like who I see anymore.
That's very fair.
You know, and I think, you know, I kind of make some time to get my physical health back in order. Only I can do that, but it's just a case of finding that time in amongst the hecticness which is our life.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could get back into the routine of going to the gym on the evenings, that would be really good for you, wouldn't it? I mean, like...
It would. But also, like, the type of work I've done has changed, because I used to be an antique dealer, which, you know, you unload your shop in the morning, you load it back in an evening. Other than that, you're in the shop most of the day, except for on weekends when I might be around boot fairs and auction houses and stuff. So it's not a very physically active job, whereas now I work in the outdoors, I do landscaping, gardening, I walk around a lot of the day. So going from that to the gym is suddenly, you know, I'm already tired by the time I'm home, whereas back then I went home full of energy. So I've had a total lifestyle shift.
So. Yeah, you have. But from that is we can still go to the gym.
I know.
And we're working on it, aren't we?
Well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Went off on one.
Yeah, it's alright. You're allowed to. That's what this is for. It's like the realisticness of goddamn marriages. Marriages is... I don't like those online ones where it's like... whatever, it probably is a bit of insecurity, but I don't give a crap. These, like, model-looking couples that have, like, baby, but they're, like, billionaires, and they're, like, for a secret success, for a perfect marriage, it's like, yeah, it ain't perfect. Not a marriage is perfect, and, you know.
No, but they're like, that sort of culture that we're better than everyone, and everyone could be like this if they really tried, is bullshit, because only so many people can succeed to the top. I mean, this whole alpha culture, if you've got to be muscular, you've got to be rich, you've got to drive a Lamborghini. It's like only so many people can be rich. Other people have to prioritize things over building muscle because they actually want to invest time into their family life. Now, it's great if you have a job that allows you to invest time into both, but not everyone has that option. Not everyone can have the social media influencer job. Not everyone can be a celebrity. Not everyone got the money from mummy and daddy and can just fucking roll on through the interest.
Mm.
Well, no, not all of us have options. I've been from way down here to up here to back down here throughout my life, up and down, you know, and now I'm at a comfortable point where the bills are paid.
I feel like as well,
a few little bits, but that's
some
about it.
Some of like the mummy vlogs and all of that is very like a little bit. It's a lot of what you call it, what's it called? It's like pressure. I'm really not smart right now. Pressure on other mothers. Like, I make homemade cooked 3 meals a day every day. Then I do all these activities every day, all day, and it guilts these mums to going, I can only, with, you know, mental health, other struggles, that, you know, I can't afford these gourmet meals, I can't afford prepping these meals because either I've got work as a mother, or, you know, your mental health's bad, you can't afford the meals, you know, or your lack of motivation. And that is okay with lack of motivation of being a mother or a father. But
You also have a husband who likes to cook and does like.
I know, but
amazing-
I'm talking about the stigma with YouTube channels and family things that
Yeah.
are trying to sell you how to be a perfect marriage or what's expected, what's normal. That's not normal. That's too in the high bar. It's not fair. This vlog is more goddamn chill, more realistic, more.
So, out of curiosity, like, what would you expect from me as a husband?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. I mean, you work, so you bring in the money, and you know, just do a moderate amount of the house chores, which you do anyway. You see something not done, you just do it. You don't sit around, and you know, you'll clean the dishes when you see it. It doesn't need me to encourage you to ask to do it. It shouldn't be me going, "Could you do the dishes?" You'll just see it and go, "Cool." And while I'm doing the dishes, I'm gonna take my top off and cook dinner.
Right.
I'll blast music.
That's a little bit of a sort of like an OCD type thing. I hate it when I get like wet stuff on my t-shirt or anything, and it's really uncomfortable. So I do take my top off to wash the dishes. It is purely mental. I just don't want to get a wet t-shirt.
And it's very hilarious when a female carer just walks in and is like, "Holy
Yeah.
like it's his
Dancing
house.
around in my grey sweatpants.
It's your house."
I mean, to
you
be
know.
fair, if we didn't have kids and carers, it could very easily become my underwear.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Jesus Christ. Yeah. What was the question I said?
So the question I asked you, what would you value in a husband?
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the main ones. Is cook when we have conflict with the children, we'll kind of work together
Try and communicate how we want it to play out.
Yeah, because we do know kids do play parents against each other. That is their minted goal. Like, I don't know, he's just been told off by my daughter. He's just told our daughter off, and it's because he's took a game off her because she's had too much game time, and she'll go downstairs and go, "Dad shouted at me," and I'm like, okay, okay.
You know?
And then I just talk to Dad. I'll bring her with me and go, "Right, okay, what's apparently you shouted," and my daughter would go, he meant it like this. I'm like, okay, but we're just talking it through because you've said something, and let's talk
she
together.
Does a lot is like I will tell her it's bedtime, and she will tell me, "Mum said we've got half an hour."
Ooh,
So I just shout down to Mum's like, "Did you just tell the kids they got half an hour?" And I know that Mum's not done this because I've told Mum I'm going up to tell them it's bedtime. She's like, "No." I'm like, "Right, don't tell me lies, get to bed." And she goes, really sees her ass.
Yeah, she's like, but she does get on with it. I think communication and showing children that parents communicate together rather than shouting and getting aggressive and being confrontational in front of the kids with each other, not doing that is the best, teaching the children with how to deal with conflict when they get older. So us being calm, collective and talking down to their level, it shows that the kids some sort of like, this is how it should be, this is how we communicate, rather than, because I grew up in a household where that was not, the upbringing was not that way. So we try and do the opposite, as like a lot of us do in this generation, is do better than our parents, which is okay. Yeah, I think that's what values is teamwork with raising the kids. Like, you are a very present dad with our children and the who are I still class as ours as well, but the external as well, because obviously the other partner.
So your stepchildren, my children, and our children.
But you're very present in both of this family's lives and in your children, my stepkids' lives as well. We're very united and together, and I think that's very, very,
Well, I had them, they didn't choose to be here.
Well,
I had them, they didn't choose to be here, so I've got to support them.
Yeah. So, yeah. Very simple video today. Very funny. So, yeah, next week I think I'll be talking more back again on the medical side of things. But this is an introduction. This is my husband Adam.
Hi.
We'll be doing more little family, a mix of like marriage, like experiences, because we've had some heavy experiences, haven't we? This is more of an introduction than anything, but we'll go into more depth It's just a
Just don't tell them about the bodies in the bed area. Chickens will eat anything. They're
he's
brilliant.
such a goofball. Anyway, guys,
Good pond. You know, good pond, concrete face, all the bones are gone then.
as you can see in my short stories, I've actually posted of us adopting battery chickens and trying to get them back to a healthy, normal level, because the free range chickens and normal range chicken eggs that you buy in the shop, apparently that's the standard of good quality of life that you're paying for. So
from my understanding, I did conservation in college, and from my understanding, a free range chicken is within 1 square foot, which means it's got 12 inches by 12 inches to turn around. Most free range animals in the UK basically means it can turn around. So a free range pig, it's 1 meter by 1 meter. It can turn around. Can't fucking go anywhere.
definitely
Apologise for swearing.
It's alright. It's allowed to swear on this.
Okay.
People swear. It's fine. This is just YouTube, so either way. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to us. There'll be more videos weekly. I'm only posting weekly because, again, we are a family and we're busy. We don't post every day.
I won't be in it all the time.
No, and again, we are a family. We're very busy. I'm not one of those. I'm going to try not have that stigma of the typical toxic family vlogger. No, thank you. But yeah, see you next week.